Hey, what's up? One day, somebody actually said to themselves, hey man, let's take fried chicken. You know, that food that's nearly perfect on its own. Yeah, let's take that and put buttery hot sauce all over it and just see what happens. Today, I'm gonna show you what happens. And spoiler alert, it's dope. And it only takes like 25 minutes to make. To get started, I'm gonna need some chicken. Specifically, I've got 6 3 to 4 ounce pieces of boneless, skinless chicken thighs here. I think thighs are the right move for a quick fried chicken sandwich because they require no marination or brining to be delicious, and they come in these perfectly sandwich-sized portions right out of the package. Quickly, though, I am gonna hit these thighs liberally with salt on both sides. The breading that I'm gonna coat them in will be seasoned itself as well, but getting some additional salt right on the meat here really helps with their overall flavor. Once these are all salted up like this, I'll set them aside for just a second while I make the breading. For that, I'll grab a medium bowl and into it measure 300 grams of all-purpose flour, 5 grams of salt, 2 to 3 grams of black pepper, 3 grams of cayenne pepper, 3 grams of paprika, and 5 grams of garlic powder. Now, I'll grab a whisk and jump into the bowl to get everything combined. Once it is, I'll grab 2 bowls, and into one of them I'll add 300 grams of buttermilk, and into the other I'll add about 200 grams of all-purpose flour. To finish this breading, I'll grab the buttermilk and drizzle in about a quarter cup right into that seasoned flour. Then, using a whisk, I'll jump in to stir to get that hydrated with the flour. The goal here is to create some extra clumpy bits of hydrated flour that will turn into super crispy cragginess once fried on the outside. The final texture of the breading should still be kind of dry and slightly powdery like this overall, but clumpy also. Make it clumpy. Next, I'll grab my salted meat and then drop the first piece into that unseasoned all-purpose flour. This base layer of flour is going to absorb any of the moisture that came out of the chicken from salting, and it will also help grab the buttermilk that we dunk it in. Speaking of buttermilk, once this thigh is very well dusted with flour, I'll shake it off to remove anything excessive and then lay it into the buttermilk. Using tongs now, I'm going to flip the thigh to make sure that I'm getting good even coverage here, and as you can see, that base layer of flour really helps that milk stick to the meat. Once this thigh is all milked up like this, I'll move it over to the crumbly breading mixture that we just made. From there, I'll give it a shake to get it covered with the breading, and once it's buried in there, I'll come back with my hands to flip it around and make sure that it's evenly coated. I'll give it some light pressing to make sure that it's fully covered and to make sure that the breading is really stuck on there. And there we go. Now I'll move it over to a little baby sheet tray to rest for about 5 to 10 minutes so that the flour on the outside can hydrate a little bit more. I'll bread the rest of these thighs now, and once they're all covered, I'll get my fryer ready for my fried chicken. To do that, I'll grab a heavy bottom pot like this 6.5 quart Dutch oven and drop it on the stove over medium heat. Into that, I'll glug 2 quarts of neutral oil. I'm using vegetable here, but canola, peanut, or corn oil would also work. 2 quarts is going to give me about 3 inches of oil depth in this pot, and that is perfect to submerge these thighs. While this oil slowly gets hot, I'm going to make my favorite condiment for this style of sandwich. That's a creamy, chunky, funky blue cheese dressing. For that, I'll grab a high-sided container and into it measure 75 grams of buttermilk, 60 grams of sour cream, 15 grams of lemon juice, a half of a clove of garlic, 10 grams of rinsed shallot or red onion, 5 grams of salt, and 1 egg yolk, or most of 1 yolk. Get it all in there, dude. And that's good enough. There we go. Then I'll grab 300 grams of a neutral oil. In this case, I have light olive here, and then I'll grab an immersion blender and start to spin this up. Once that's all pureed, I'll grab my oil now and drizzle it in slowly to get it properly emulsified. I'll mention that this tall container is great for making emulsified dressings, but as you can see, when the dressing starts to get thick, the oil just kind of sits there on top. That could lead to a broken sauce eventually, so I'll stop the blender, spin up the top to get any loose oil, incorporate it, and then I'll add the last little bit of oil that I've got here and spin that in, making sure to get it moved around from the top to the bottom. Too much oil in one place, basically, and we could break this dressing. And there we go. Now we have what is essentially a very good tasting ranch dressing. To make it into blue cheese dressing, I'll add in 50 grams of very well crumbled blue cheese. Using the immersion blender, again, I'll spin that in for 10 to 15 seconds or until it's relatively creamy and mixed in with the base ranch dressing. As far as the cheese itself goes, you could buy pre-crumbled stuff, but that stuff's not really that flavorful in general, so I prefer to buy a little piece of nice tasting blue cheese like this and then chop it up myself. As you can see, I'm breaking it down pretty far into tiny little crumbles because that's going to make it much easier to blend in. Once that first 50 grams of blue cheese is spun into the base, I'll add the other half, or most of it depending on how much you like blue cheese, and then I'll stir that in to combine. Now we've got a nice, creamy, subtly funky dressing with small chunks of delicious blue cheese floating throughout. If you guys don't like blue cheese, I get it, but I still think you might like this dressing because in the end, it's basically ranch and the blue cheese flavor is not that in your face. unlike the sponsor of this video, Geologie Skincare. Geologie is an award-winning men's skincare company that takes the guesswork out of making a skincare routine. Unfortunately, because I have acne as a grown-up, I've tried a ton of different regimens and products that all claim to be a cure but have turned out to be pure snake oil. That's where Geologie comes in. To get my personalized routine, I took their 30-second quiz online, and from there, they recommended a custom regimen specifically for my skin, including 2 everyday face washes, that's one for the sink and one for the shower, a day cream, a night cream, and an eye cream, which, by the way, Lauren uses just as much as I do. And most importantly, all of their products are built around a short list of scientifically proven ingredients that dermatologists recommend, like retinol, hyaluronic acid, and kojic acid. So give Geologie a try. Go to geologie.com and take their skincare quiz to get up to 50% off your 30-day trial, or just click the link in my description. If you like it, you can either continue with a 90-day supply or just choose your favorite products. That's geologie.com, or click the link below and save 50% off your 30-day trial. Next, I need to make the buffalo part of this sandwich. For that, I'll set aside my dressing and then grab a small saucepan and into it measure 300 grams of Frank's hot sauce. In my opinion, Frank's is the best option for buffalo sauce, but if you've got another esoteric, handmade, whatever, go for it. Then 15 grams of well-minced garlic, 20 grams of Worcestershire, and 15 grams of white distilled vinegar. Now I'll move this pot over to the stove and heat it over medium-high heat. From there, I'll whisk the garlic in and bring the whole thing up to a simmer and cook this until the hot sauce has reduced a little bit and that garlic has lost its raw edge, or for about 4 to 5 minutes. When the garlic is nice and tender and the sauce has slightly thickened like this, I'll add in 150 grams of cubed butter. I'll whisk that in, and that's buffalo sauce. If you didn't know, it's essentially just Frank's hot sauce with a shitload of butter in it. How can something so simple and dumb be so delicious? It's an amazing question. Now, the trouble with buffalo sauce is that it breaks. There's melted butter in there, and when it gets hot, it will break. So to help keep this emulsified, I'm gonna add in an optional small pinch of xanthan gum. If you don't have it, skip it, but if you do, add a little pinch and whisk it in there. A little bit goes a long way though. Don't overuse this stuff. It will help keep the sauce from breaking, and it will also give us a tiny boost in terms of viscosity. Now, let's fry this chicken. It's been about 10 minutes since I breaded this stuff, and as you can see, that breading has hydrated a little bit. That's ideal. That floury, pasty mixture is going to act like glue and keep this breading stuck to the meat. When I check back on my fryer oil, it's sitting comfortably around 350F 175C, perfect for fried chicken. Now I'm going to lay these thighs into the oil slowly and away from my bod. This keeps any hot oil from splashing onto my feet. And if I haven't said it yet, respect hot oil, you guys, because it's not a freaking joke and it can hurt you. So just pay attention. After 20 to 30 seconds, I'm going to come back real quick with my spider to make sure this chicken isn't stuck to the bottom of the pot. And it's not, so I'm going to keep on cooking for about 4 more minutes. After 4 minutes of fry time, when I come back to check on the breading, you can see that it's nicely golden brown and it's still firmly attached to the meat. So I'm going to pull these out. And that's a pretty good looking piece of fried chicken right there. It looks super craggy and crisp, and it doesn't look greasy at all. Now I'm going to drop the next round of thighs, and then I'm going to buffalo this chicken. For that, I'll move one piece at a time into a medium bowl. I'll grab my sauce and make sure to stir it up to re-emulsify the butter if it's broken. Then I'll stream in a good 1/4 cup or so per thigh. I really want these things to be absolutely covered in buff. Once it is, I'll come back with tongs to gently move it around in the bowl to get that breading saturated. Don't be shy here. This breading will absorb a lot of buffalo sauce. Oh my lord, this looks insane. Let's make it into a sandwich. For that, I'll grab a toasted, squishy brioche bun. I really like this particular brand that seems to be pretty widely available at most US grocery stores, but if you wanted to go whole hog from scratch, I'll leave a link in the description to my potato roll 2.0. Next, for salty crunch, I'll shingle on 7 to 8 medium thick slices of dill pickle. If you wanted a little sweetness on this sandwich, I'd say opt for a bread and butter pickle instead. Behind that, I'll lay down some tender, sweet butter leaf lettuce, 2 pieces. Then my deeply orange, buttery, spicy, crispy fried chicken. To finish, I'll top that with a strong dollop of chunky homemade blue cheese dressing. Finally, I'll hit this with a toasted top bun and then give the whole thing a gentle but firm squish. You guys are seeing this, right? It's buttered hot sauce fried chicken on a sandwich. It's crunchy, it's rich, it's creamy, it's spicy, and just perfectly tangy. If you haven't messed around with a buff chicken sandwich before, please, I'm serious, do it soon. This one is so dope, and it only took me like 25 minutes. Let's eat this thing.